Hello, greetings from Washington, D.C. I'm here at the White House, and I'm here because of DC Cab. I assume all these people, big DC Cab fans. So this scene, this side of the White House, I'm gonna match up a shot. We got some noisy construction equipment going, but I'm gonna match up a shot from early on in the film. But wait, look at this. It's a historical spot. So Bill Maher would have parked his cab like right here, right where you're standing, Jeff. All right, so he would have parked his cab right here. Then he would have ran over here because they had a whole bunch of protesters over here. He grabbed a protest sign, started protesting, then somebody got in his cab, so he had to leave the protest. And I think it's funny now in retrospect that that was Bill Maher in that scene. That, you know, the one cab driver that they decided was going to be involved in the protest would be Bill Maher. I'm gonna go up, see how close of a shot I can get here. Back when this scene was shot, you could actually drive here. I remember when I came here and saw you in the 90s, we could drive right by this, which was kind of fun. But they don't allow this anymore. Now, this also, I know it's got a lot of historical significance outside of movies, but I believe Bullwinkle crashes his plane right here in the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie.
Couldn't seem to be.
Right in front of the fountain. I think it's this side. There's two sides. I always think of it as you've got this triangle side, and then you've got the rounded side. The rounded side's the one that's on the $20 bill, right?
That's correct. Yep. The rounded side is where the residence is.
Oh, so the president's would be on that side. He's not home today.
He is home. He hasn't left for Canada
he is.
yet, but he will be leaving later this afternoon.
He's going to Canada?
He's going to Canada.
Oh.
That's why there's no briefing.
I thought he was going to Connecticut.
No, he's going to Canada today.
Did he just come from Connecticut? He's the president. He probably moves a lot.
Yeah,
so we've known each other since high school.
Right. So,
but you are well, we don't want to tell anybody how many years that is, but it's too many years.
yeah, it's a long time.
But you are a reporter for the Washington Times. You got your press badge on.
That's correct. Yep.
And so you're in the White House like every day.
Yep.
You just came out of it.
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
I said I'll come in, and you said no, I'll come out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, this is neat to see. Do you know anything of? There was a tree I know that was here that it's like an old tree that was in the front that was removed that everybody got upset about. I don't know if it's on this side. Is there anything significant I should be looking at on this side?
Not particularly. The more significant stuff is on the other side.
Yeah.
This is just sort of the main entrance where the offices is. If you go back through there,
All right.
you can take it to the Oval Office.
Well, very cool.
East wing over there, west wing over there.
And no one can get a good picture anymore because of these bars. Were these bars? When did these things? Well, like in the picture, there's something there, but it doesn't look like this. Like you can see, it looks like there's some kind of fencing.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's this because this looks.
After 9/11,
This looks heavy duty. I mean, this doesn't look like.
Yeah.
All right, very nice. All right, let's go to the next spot. Jose Artigas, father of the independence of Uruguay. There's the Washington Monument. I have no idea where it is. Great, look at that. And then what is this?
Treasury Building.
Treasury Building, okay. This is where, so when in the movie Contact, this is where the scene was?
Yes.
Where they came out, but it was supposed to be the Supreme Court?
But it was
okay,
here.
And
Yeah.
this building looks very similar to the Supreme Court.
Exactly. All that is exactly correct.
So yeah, this they did the scene with Jodie Foster. Would that be these steps, or are there another set of steps?
No, it's these steps.
So yeah, it was Matthew McConaughey and Jodie Foster, and they kept coming down these steps. I watched them film for like, I don't know, what do you think, it was like 6 hours?
Yeah, it was a long day.
And at the end of the day, at one point I even walked up and stood with the extras.
Yeah.
So that I might be in the background of some of the shots, but it's like in the movie for like a second and a half. It's
Right.
like, you know, they just walked down these steps. All right, so we have made it We're down Pennsylvania Avenue. We're going to be at the spot where the parade is, and the parade actually passed in front of this. But this statue, it's interesting. We were noticing this statue would not have been here at that time because it says here, dedicated 1909, removed 1979, and then returned in 2005. So it's like they took this out just for a couple decades, and that's when DC Cab, they're gonna have to remove it when they do DC Cab 2. All right, so this building, this used to be called the District Building, I believe, and now it's called the Wilson Building after John A. Wilson. And at the end of DC Cab, they go on a parade, and it looks like the parade stretches all the way up and down the street, but really the parade just goes like in front of two buildings. I think it's that building and this building. Parade just moves back and forth in front of it, and you'll see if you look at the shots, you'll be like, oh, they're in front of the same guy. There's a guy in a blue suit you can see multiple times. But the parade comes right up here, and then it ends, and they all run up these steps, and I'm gonna show you a picture here. So you can see they all run up right up these steps. And you can see all of them. They were all standing right up here. There was a podium set up that would have been right here. And you can actually see the old sign in the background. It's interesting. If you look, the number's been replaced up here. Oh, that's where it used to say District Building. So if you look, you can see under that 1350, it used to say District Building. I'll show you a shot with that. All right, so here's this shot, and you can see the sign, District Building. And that was right there. You see it was on that brick. It kind of stands out from the other one to the left of it. So that was right here. They had their kiss right about where I'm standing. Mr. T is right here, the Barbarian Brothers. And I guess they got the key to the city or whatever for saving the day right here. Now it says here, this is the office of the mayor. It said for that movie, it was Mayor Marion Barry, and they thanked Mayor Marion Barry for his help in getting this parade, because this was apparently an unprecedented thing to be able to shoot on to close part of Pennsylvania Avenue and shoot DC Cab here. And it was, that ending was actually, they did that after the movie was completed and they tested it. They had an original ending where Irene Cara sang at the White House and they were invited. And apparently test audiences didn't like it, so they came up with the parade idea and they came back and shot it. And if you watch that scene, the Barbarian Brothers are clean shaven and they have beards in every other scene in the movie. So that was right here. So this would have been right here. You can see this building in the background. And they would have been right out here. All this traffic is coming. Well, I gotta actually step in just a little bit. So yeah, they would have been driving right down the street here. So Mr. T on there with Adam Baldwin and Charlie Barnett with the wig. In this scene, you can actually see this building here in a lot of shots as they pass by. Right in front of here. They only show this side of the street. So all the fans that they had got together for it were all pushed together on this side. All right, very cool. Here's a picture of that parade. Again, would have come right down this street. Pretty cool to think about. Mr. T sitting on top of the cab. I think what they did was they just stuck each of them on top of the cab and just drove them down the street over and over. You know, just there is a guy, they show a guy who's sitting up like on a ledge, and it can't be that ledge up there. I think he was sitting outside of one of the windows, but there's no shot that I was able to match up. But there was a guy in the crowd that was sitting up real high in a weird spot, but I couldn't figure out.
Working in the building.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is. I think there was some of that in this, where there was like You know, people were just like, oh, okay, you know, Mr. T is here. They said that they had to have special security for Mr. T, which was provided by Washington, D.C. So they said the rest of the cast had security. Mr. T had special security. So he was the biggest star, you know, on television at the time. So interesting. All right, here we are. And there's the Capitol building in the distance. The Capitol building is the first landmark you see in the movie, but not from this perspective. But there it is. This Capitol kind of looks the same from 360 degrees, so it could be a little confusing. Right here on Pennsylvania Avenue. So if you look right behind us, you can see this awning. That's called the Hamilton. What's the Hamilton?
Hamilton is a hotel now.
It's a hotel, okay.
Yep.
It used to be a department store. This was Garfinkel's department store. We're gonna go right over that awning. I'll show you what happened there. All right, so this would have been Garfinkel's department store. Would have been right out here. Irene Cara is standing, she's waiting with her bag, and then Charlie Barnett's character, who's dressed as Uncle Sam, hops in the cab, steals the cab from the DC cab drivers because he had quit, picks her up and takes her to where she had to go, which is the St. Regis Hotel, which is not far from there. This shot was super hard to match up. If you look in this still, you can kind of see there was like another wooden building that was in front of this, and I couldn't figure out if it was temporary or what it was there for, but it made it kind of hard to match up this. But once I found out where the department store was, it was pretty easy. So she had just done her shopping and was on her way. And you can see this corner, he had this whole setup where he was selling, he was dressed as Uncle Sam, selling like Washington, D.C. souvenirs right here. See that Hamilton has a bunch of artists, including Sophie B. Hawkins, which I think she did As I Lay Me Down. I wonder if Irene Cara ever played here back when she was still with us. I wonder what this says. I wonder if that's Garfinkel and Company right there. Same on this side. It's very interesting. Here's the awning. It's a different awning. And this across the street, I guess, is called the Willard office. And then every building here looks important. I'm not sure what this one is, but. So what is this, Jeff? This is 14th Street?
This is 14th.
So this is the Garfinkel's entrance on 14th Street. Now it's Hamilton. Oh, Hamilton Square. It's in New Jersey. But it looks very clearly here. I think you can see Garfinkel's right in this spot. It looks like once you put those things in the concrete, you can't get them out. Like, that's it. You gotta. But I don't think this was the side, but I did want to show you this side in case I'm wrong. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's like once you put that in, this has been, Garfinkel's closed, you know, 30 years ago. But I don't think this was the side. I think it was that side, but I figured I'd show you guys both sides. So this, James Madison had a house here, but it wasn't this thing. This is pretty nice. And Dolly Madison, who made all those cupcakes and stuff, right? All right. So where are we exactly? Point out where the White House is.
It's over there.
So we can't see it, but it's in that direction.
Here we'll see. You can see the fountain in the front. And then, yeah, there is the...
And we're going to go over, this is the church that everybody saw on TV, President Trump, during, there was a riot in Washington, D.C. They were close to here, and he came out in front of this building with a Bible. This is a historic church, and it was on fire, but it's, can you go in it now, or is it still?
I don't know if you can go in it, but you can see on the outside, you'll be able to see some of the marks from where it burned.
All right, well, we'll go up and take a look at it. Here, it's the White House. This is the other side with the triangle on the top instead of the rounded side. Now, I think it's time for us to go. So let's take a look at this. Oh, wow, did you see this? Every president of the United States since James Madison has attended services here. St. John's Episcopal Church. historic landmark, 1961. No photography and videography inside the church during the service. So it looks like you could video record in there as long as there's not a service going on. We allowed in? Oh, nice. All right, I'll just get a quick shot and then I'll turn it off. I don't want to anger anybody, but that's what it looks like. Here's this down here. Very nice. Okay, so here it is, St. John's Church, completed in 1816. Wow. And so you said there were burn marks, but they didn't, this was not burned significantly.
No, it was.
This isn't like the cathedral in Notre Dame or anything where.
Right, and they were able to put it out there, right over there.
Oh, can we walk? We can walk through here. And where do you see them? Because I don't see.
Straight ahead.
Straight ahead.
You see it, this is where it says no public. Look where it's sort of green and brown.
Oh, you think it was on this side?
On this, yep, right there.
Okay, wow, okay, very interesting. Beautiful, beautiful church. And then this is it's like a memorial garden with some names in here. All right, so here's the picture. This is the picture of President Trump holding the Bible in front of this building. That was right here. So it was on this side. This is actually more than one building, but it's all St. John's Church. And so that would have been right here, which would have meant he was standing somewhere around this spot, somewhere where I'm standing, or could have been here, could have been here, maybe here, probably not this far. But yeah, he would have been right about where you are. And so that would have been right here. And they would have walked over from the White House, which is still right across the street because we've gone around the corner. Is it over? It's like at a diagonal in that direction.
Straight ahead.
So it's in that way. Okay. All right. Very interesting. So, I mean, tons of history. That's more recent history, so it's stuff I remember. But tons of history in every square inch that we, like at some point, Thomas Jefferson walked down this street right here as well, and Lyndon Johnson was probably having a smoke break over here at some point. And they all went to church in here. This is great. There's two locations that are right next to each other that are not next to each other in the movie necessarily. I mean, they were, but this is pretty neat. We can see the Washington Monument in the distance. We're gonna go check out the St. Regis Hotel, as well as, what's this, the Hilton?
Capitol Hilton.
The Capitol Hilton. There's more than one Capitol Hilton, but this is the one from DC Cab. You can drive on here, but it's not open. Like, they've got these stanchions. In the 80s, this was just a regular street. But I think they chose this hotel because they liked having the Washington Monument in the background. But this is where Irene Cara got dropped off. She got dropped off at this. It was then called the Carlton, but now it's the St. Regis. And let's go in. You want to check out the lobby?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, this must be a historic building. I mean, it's at least from the 80s. St. Regis. St. Regis Hotel. Whoa, look at this.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to be at.
Wow. Look at this place. Wow. This is beautiful. No wonder Irene Cara stayed here. This is something else. So yeah, Irene Cara in the movie, playing Irene Cara, was dropped off right here at this hotel. She was dropped off right where this car is. All right, so here is the Capitol Hilton, and it was in this spot right here where the rival cab company, which was who was Andy Kaufman's friend? Bob Zamuda, and another guy, and they were parked here, and the Barbarian brothers were jumping up and down on their cab and trying to steal the fare. That was right at the beginning of the movie. It was right here. You can see this shot was right over in this area, so they would have been parked right here. Let's go see this Capitol Hilton. Have you been in this one before? You ever had a dinner or anything here? Let's see, this is also a historic building, it looks like. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Just sightseeing. I'm looking at the historic sign here.
Yeah.
43. Wow. This is something. It's a beauty. I'm gonna go check the lobby. Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow, look at this. All right, thank you. Oh, that's a nice dude. All right, let's see here. Yeah, not as ornate as the other one, but still like a really fancy hotel. This is really nice. They've got a thing here. You were talking about the cherry blossoms, right? It's like a big thing. Because I see this. Do you see this over here? Washington, D.C. in bloom. They've got like all the cherry blossoms there set up and signs about it. They must have some event here celebrating 80 years. This shop was right here. It was right here. The Washington Monument is on this side. I'm not going to look for parking again, but that DC cab was parked right over here. Let's see the cherry blossoms. They were talking about the Cherry Blossom Festival that's coming up. You can see the cherry blossoms here.
Make a U-turn.
Real beautiful. We're going to go in a loop around here, so. When I was trying to find the locations for some of the monuments, the Washington Monument and also the Capitol building, I did the Google Street View around this loop so many times, so I'm definitely now very familiar with this spot. But look at all these cherry blossoms. I have one of these trees in my yard. And it blooms for a very, very short time. And then all the blooms fall to the ground and you're done. But look at everybody taking pictures and enjoying what turned out to be a beautiful day. It was raining this morning when I left New Jersey, but it's gorgeous now. These yellow shirts over here reminded me of some DC cab logo. Look at that. Here.
Use the left lane to take a slight left turn.
Washington Monument right over there. You can actually see about a third of the way up, you can see a difference in color because they started using bricks from one place and then they halted construction for a long time and then they restarted construction, and so they had to get different bricks. So you can see the different in color, difference. And then I think this is what Jefferson's Monticello, I think, over here. Here's a shot right outside the Florida Avenue Grill. Mr. T would have been parked right about here in this shot. And you would see this restaurant right in the background. And you can see this 1100 here. They have a different plaque now, but they had the 1100 there. This pipe would have been up here, and then this is a window that's right there. And there's actually multiple scenes where they eat in here, and there's a scene where they jump out the window here. The cab drivers have more than one meal in here. We're gonna go inside, see if I can get a table and check this out. But they fought with the Green Cab Company in here, and I'll try to get some pictures inside. Looks like they've got a lot of autographs on the wall. They are not open, but I wanted you to see if I can show you this. They have autographs from lots of different politicians up there. You see Clarence Thomas, Strom Thurmond. A lot of, you can see all the action that happened in the movie would have happened here. This place has been around since 1944. So I was able to come in here, but unfortunately I won't be able to eat in here, but I'm gonna see if I can get you guys some shots of the inside here. I think there's Al Sharpton. Look at that. But in the movie, you can see there's like this bar, but they ate in tables that were set up right along in the middle here. And they would sit here and eat. This seemed like the place that the cab drivers liked the most. See up there, I wonder if they have an autograph picture somewhere of Mr. T. You can actually see there's autographs look like right along the wall here that we won't be able to see, unfortunately not being able to get inside. That's a bummer we couldn't get inside, but cool, we're getting to see the outside of it. The real bummer is I paid for parking. That's the real bummer. But here it is, the Florida Avenue Grill. And again, take a look at these distinctive windows. See the shape of them. If you're watching any of the interior scenes, you know it was filmed in here because you could see those windows. It actually looks much smaller in person than they made it look in the movie. But if you pay attention to the shots in the movie, it really looks like the tables, everybody's kind of crammed in there. It was just a way to squeeze everybody in for a shot. Not something that's as comfortable as it would be for a restaurant. I'm going to show you one more shot. I'll match up one more shot across the street. Here's a shot from the movie where you can see their cabs, and you can also see one of those green cabs all lined up right out in front of the Florida Avenue Grill. And that shot would have been taken from this corner. They would have shot over there at the Florida Avenue Grill. You can see in the background there's a brick building here. There's also one over here, and there's one on the other side. And you do see bricks in the background when you're watching them. But yeah, all that went down. 1982, probably. They filmed it right here. I'm driving around here. I'm looking for Mr. T spots, but I found Mr. W. Mr. W is parked here. I wonder what Mr. W's catchphrase is. Maybe he doesn't pity the fool. Maybe he's just like, I feel sort of bad for that fool. I feel sad for the fool. That's his thing. Mr. W. We are heading to the kidnapping location. And in that sequence, the reason we learn about...
Right turn onto Cleveland Avenue Northwest.
Listen to GPS for a second. That is important. We learn about where they're located. We don't know. I don't think it's ever revealed what the embassy that the cleaning people work for, but they're in the cab and they tell Albert, this is the British embassy. There's the Brazil embassy, and this is where we work, and they show where they work. And then later we get the shot where there's the kidnapping there. So we're gonna see if we can park over there. I drove by those.
Left onto Calvert Street Northwest.
Hold on, she's very rude. I drove by those two embassies already, and I'm gonna drive by them again. Parking, there wasn't a lot of parking near them. I could park to walk over, but they literally drove past them in the movie. So I think we'll do exactly that.
At the next light, keep left.
And there's the Brazil embassy. And I believe this is, yes, so it's telling me to turn in, but I am not an ambassador. But here's the British embassy. Right there.
The stop sign, turn right onto Calorama Road Northwest, then turn right. Onto Calorama Road Northwest. Then the destination is on your right.
So this is the building that the two maids worked at. They're doing some work, but they have a photo. It's like a very Disney thing to do. Have a photo of what you're working on covering up the work. Also have the Statue of Liberty replica here. Draped in, I think, the Ukrainian flag. But anyway, you see this building in the movie. And here is the gates. So in the movie, the gate opens up. And you can see this is where they kidnapped the child. But it's right from this perspective. You can see the building there. And they're standing right over here. Right over here. And Albert chases them around the corner and isn't able to catch them. But that kidnapping scene happened right here. There was like a nun here, and the kids were real brats, if I remember correctly. And the kids were sticking out their tongue and everything, but then they got kidnapped, and Albert gets kidnapped too. And that was right here. Stopped out in front of the Naval Observatory, and they have their master clock running over here. Whoa. Well, it says 2:23:54, although, my God, it looks crazy on the camera. That's right here. I just noticed that I was driving past. This is where Reagan was almost assassinated, right there. Take a look at this mural here on the side of this building. We're going to be heading right over here for a pretty important spot from the movie. And that's kind of cool to see. So this building here used to be known as Bohemian Caverns. It has a long history as a like a nightclub that played jazz music. You can see the instrument here on the side. So this is where the drug dealers had their car parked. Now the thing about this took forever for me to match up. When I see on the internet they say that this is the place, I think, well, I want to double check. And the weird thing was this fire hydrant and this manhole cover and the other manhole cover back there, they're all in the wrong spot. And the sidewalk is shaped completely different, but none of it looks new, which means that this was all replaced many, many years ago. And I didn't believe it until I found a picture of this building with the old 80s sidewalk. But the building also looked very different. Let's see here. I don't know if I'm supposed to be here. I'll walk away soon. But this was all glass. In the film, you can see this was all glass. Looks like they're doing a lot of work here. But the drug dealer's car was parked right along here, and then Mr. T pulls up and he parks his gold cab right here in this street. And you can also see this Lee's Flower Shop in the background. And I found there's a publicity photo of Mr. T where you clearly see that Lee's Flower Shop. That's been in business since those days. So let's take a look here. Just a little bit more about the building behind us. The Crystal Club Caverns, that was its name at one point in time. And here it is right on 11th Street. You can see some of the stuff in the background when Mr. T is here arguing with the drug dealers, telling them to get away from his niece. But all of that happened right in this spot, right here. It's the Bohemian Cavern. There's a scene in the movie where a guy's sitting on a chair outside, and he was sitting right here where it's now Wells Fargo. He was sitting on like a Barca lounger right out there. So that'll bring it to a close. What is this building, Jeff?
This is the
Red Cross?
Red Cross headquarters.
It's like a little White House.
Yeah.
So do you have anything to plug or no?
No, I have nothing to
Social
plug.
media, nothing? All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time. Right now, a video should pop up on this side and then this side. Choose the one over Jeff or the one over me.